have a little look now at exactly how it unfolded. Erkan Kerimaj of Albania managed to nail his opener at 155. This is it. Very comfortable lift. He then called for 158 after that. And, I'm afraid he failed 158 twice. There was some confusion as to who was meant to be the next lifter in order after a decision was overturned by the jury, and Kerimaj was the victim of that. Now, Daniel Gudeli managed to miss his opener at 155, rolled the dice here to go for 157 for his second lift. Now watch the lockout here. Did the arms bend? Well, the referees thought it was a fail, 2-1, but then the judges stepped in and said no, they were happy it's a good lift. Gudeli always has a poor lockout. You see a lot of movement on the right arm there. But even when his arms are fully locked, they actually aren't totally straight. Well, a similar story for Martirosyan. He failed his opener at 155, and then he came out for his second lift at 157. This his only success in the snatch, but ultimately he is the lighter man than Gudeli, and nobody else was to beat it. So this ended up being the gold medal lift. Looking very comfortable, the Armenian, who has an incredible snatch PB of 177 at a heavier body weight. Manages to take the lead in the overall competition, and the gold in the snatch with that 157. So Kerimaj in third on 155, Gudeli in second on 157, and Martirosyan in first by virtue of body weight, also on 157. So we're going to be back pretty soon with the clean and jerk, the second half of this competition, the men's senior 77 kilo class European champs. They're going through their warm-ups, clean and jerking, not far off of what they'll be coming out at, and we expect Richard Tkac of Slovakia to be coming out at 178 in just a moment or two. There's 15 minutes between the two disciplines. There is Razmik Onanyan of Russia, expected to come out at 180, putting the belt on. Is it for a final warm-up, or is he indeed going to be coming out pretty soon? The coaches will be checking out what the others have put forward. A lot of men are expected to come in at 180, and there's only a couple of kilograms between Kerimaj, Gudeli and Martirosyan from the snatch. You carry forward your weight from the snatch to the clean and jerk for the overall total.
I think already we've seen Tkac move up from 178. He's now upped it to 180. So we're going to see Pippa from Moldova coming out for 180. These guys are really close together, really bunched up, so it's going to be flicking between lifters all over the place. Yeah,
there appears to be 6 men coming out at 180. Perhaps explain how the order happens.
Well, the lifters will have drawn a lot, an order number, which is done at random at the weigh-in. That's the order that we see on the scoreboard. Basically, the lightest weight starts first. It's a rising bar. First attempts go before second attempts before third. And yeah, it pretty much runs as follows. The lifters are allowed 2 changes of weight, so once they've taken one lift, the bar automatically assumes a 1 kilo increase. The coaches or the lifter can change that a further 2 times. After 2 changes, that's it. Whatever weight they've selected, that's what they've got to go for. The weights at the moment, because the competition hasn't started, they are allowed to lower the weight, put the weight up, but it still counts as a change. So to catch has used one of his changes to go from 178 up to 180.
Oh, brilliant roundup. Thank you for that. So you now understand how the chess game works. You are allowed to chop and change as we see these final warm-ups happening. Yeah, the results from the snatch: 157 for the top 2 men, and Martirosyan at the top because of body weight, just as Michaela said. That trumps if you both end up doing the same weight. And then in 3rd position, the other Albanian, Keramaj, who hit 155. Sean Clegg down the bottom, he was in the B group for Great Britain earlier on today, hitting 127 in the snatch, failing 132 on his final attempt. Well, it may well be to catch, having done his change. It looks like those that before him on 180 have now done changes as well. So it's come back to catch of Slovakia, who hit 150 in the snatch and then failed 55 and 56. And something we noticed is he just seemed to lack a bit of, well, power. And perhaps that's because he's come down from a heavier weight. And in weightlifting, unlike in some other sports, you have to weigh in not long before you start. There isn't a great deal of time to rehydrate, repower, refuel. So 180 on the bar, just shy of 400 pounds.
Wow. So, the question is leg strength. Stands up with it okay. Not the easiest of lifts that I've seen. I almost want to say that he's taken a warm-up, his last warm-up attempt, only a couple of minutes before he's called out onto the platform. Obviously, we saw all the other lifters change their weights. Maybe he hadn't anticipated that. But here we see a squat jerk. Oh, dear. There are 3 types of jerks: a power jerk, a split jerk, and a squat jerk. A split jerk is what we will see most lifters do. A power jerk is basically what we've just seen, but catching it a lot higher. That was an attempt at a squat.
Yeah, squat jerk, it's fair to say the most technical of all.
Oh, the hardest. I can honestly say I've never even put it into any of my training regimes because I don't have the shoulder flexibility.
Indeed, yeah. You're going down into what is a snatch position at the bottom with your arms very narrow apart. Now, Rosu, Alexandru Rosu of Romania, coming out for 180 as well. He hit all of his snatches. 148 is best.
I like his snatches, catching that very high. Oh. Well, that almost looked like he over-jerked it. Arms went into lock and then came straight out again. That's very frustrating. That's what happens if you try and snap your arms out at the end. Ideally, you want to be catching the weight overhead, not snapping at it. Clean, no problems. Yeah, they went to lock and came back out. Well, after missing a first attempt, as we discussed earlier, it does put the lifter under quite a bit of pressure.
Dimitrov, eyes up 180. Managed 148 in the snatch, failing 150 on his final attempt there.
Oh, wow. This is not a good start to the competition. He needs to put that pain in his upper trap out of his mind if he's going to come out here and be successful. So I'm struggling with that in the snatch.
So 3 attempts at 180, 3 failures, I'm afraid. One more man is called for 180, and that's Semi Yaksi of Turkey. You can see at the top of the graphic, it's giving you the total score he would achieve if he gets this as well, which would give him 325, which would automatically put him ahead of Arakel Mirzoyan of Armenia, who lifted in the B group earlier, who is still currently leading on 322 kilograms in terms of total.
Oh, that bar sitting very wonky on his shoulders. Yeah, good lift overall. Just trying to work out why I do this all the time when I'm analysing lifts. If there's a wonkiness like that, there's obviously an imbalance somewhere in the body. He's pulling with his right arm. Looks like it's quite tight through his left side, pelvis and ribs quite close together. That's what's causing the line of the bar to not sit straight.
Yeah, just causing some kind of imbalance. And we are back to Richard Tkac of Slovakia, who managed to get under it, caught it without a problem, and was standing up, and then I'm not sure whether it was just lights out. And we've discussed he looks like he's struggling with cutting the weight. Whether he's really got the power to finish this off.
Well, not only is a squat jerk really hard to execute, but it's even tougher when you're this tall. He's got long levers. Oh, very impressive when it's done. That is super hard to execute.
Yeah, it's brilliant to watch, isn't it? And 180 it is then. Goes clear, and overall goes into the lead. 330 kilograms his total, added to the 150 snatch he managed. Puts him 5 ahead of Yaksi, the European champion of 2011, who's somewhat down on his weights of the past. 192 is Yaksi's personal best. Alexandru Rosu coming out for 180 again. So we'll put him into second overall.
It's better catching the bar at arm's length this time. Shake of the head. Disappointed that he didn't do that on his first attempt. When you only get 3 attempts, you can't afford to waste silly ones. Big drive, arms nicely locked.
Oh, sigh of relief there, and again he's hit his 180. He's got a total now, and it's back over to Dimitrov, who came out scowling at the bar earlier. Seems to have some kind of problem with the upper right side of his back.
That was a big effort. That's going to take quite a lot out of him. Good overhead. Needs to stand still, though. Well, he's in a lot of pain, but he's also in the competition, so...
Well, when you add that to Dimitrov's 148, it puts him on a 328 total, but by virtue of body weight, he's behind Ross, who is also on 328. Tkac leads on 330 overall. We still have 5 men to join in this clean and jerk, and that was right on the limit. I'm not sure there's too much more of that.
No, I don't think so. The clean was hard. Jerk. He's not a bad jerk. He's quite good, quite strong in the overhead position, just taking a couple of steps forward. That's fine as long as you stay on the platform.
Didn't wait long there between his clean and his jerk, did he?
No, the longer you wait, the more it takes out of you. So you want stand from the clean, set yourself and go fairly sharpish. But at the same time, you need to take a